Hey guys, it's Leanne from Leanne's Weight Loss Journey. I'm doing my blog Wednesday this week, June the 20th. I weighed in a day early as I have things to do tomorrow at my son's school. So I went and I weighed in and I was down 1.2 pounds this week. That makes my total of weight loss 138.6. So I'm 8.1 pounds away from goal, or 8.2 pounds away from my goal weight. This week I decided to eat a lot more. I have become much more active with my running, and that, I think what happened last week is I just stuck with my 26 daily points and I didn't use any weeklies except for 5 the last couple days. So I think my body was actually saying, like, I'm holding on to the nutrients now. I'm not letting anything go because, you know, you're way active, but you're not giving me enough fuel to, you know, to lose the weight that I need to lose. So I think that's what was happening with me. So for this week, I'm going to try and kind of stagger my points again, use my weeklies. From now until Thursday, have a couple high days, sorry, not Thursday, to Saturday, and have a couple high days mixed in with a couple low days. So that is the gist of my week, really. I just want to introduce myself again to the new followers I have on my page. I'm 30 years old. I have a son who's 8. And I have a husband, and my husband actually works away a lot, so it's just me and my son most of the times. I'm 5'4", well, almost 5'4". I started my weight loss journey April 22nd, 2010, and my start weight was 292.8 pounds. Now my current weight is 154.2. So I started this journey. My mom had wanted me to join Weight Watchers with her, and I always found an excuse to say no. It would be whether it be the money, whether it be I didn't have daycare for my child, or I just didn't want to. I loved food too much to give up all my favorite stuff. And, you know, it's been pretty good. My family has never forced me to do anything, you know, or made fun of or criticized my size, nothing like that. But I think deep down they knew that I wasn't happy. Anybody who knew me would think that I was happy, and I thought I was happy. So when I decided to do this, it was all or nothing for me. I got on the scale and at Weight Watchers after I told my mom I would go with her, and I was totally blown out of the water at my actual weight. I was in total denial. I just, you know, sometimes what the eyes don't see, the heart don't feel kind of thing, and I hadn't gotten on a scale in 5 years. So the last time I got on a scale was when I was 9 months pregnant with my son, and I was 254 pounds. So I had gained quite a bit of weight since I had my son till the time he turned 5. There are many different things that have kept me on this journey, and one of them is not giving up the foods that I love, and not looking at this as a diet. I don't like the word diet unless it's pertaining to my daily diet, as in the food that I eat. I never go without anything that I want. Weight Watchers has given me the tools that I need to learn how to have things in moderation, not to feel guilty, And know that it's okay that every once in a while you have a little splurge. So, I mean, I track everything. I wake up in the morning and I pre-track my meals, what I'm going to have that day. And I don't track my snacks until I actually have them. But planning for me is what helps me get through the week. So on Tuesdays or Wednesdays, I'll sit down because my Weight Watchers week starts on Thursday. So I'll sit down and I will plan out all my meals for that week. I don't so much plan my lunches, but I do plan my suppers because they tend to be the highest point meals that I have. So, you know, when I first started Weight Watchers, it was all about nutrition and getting to understand the system, getting to understand the points, what foods were higher, what foods were lower, what foods gave me the most bang for my buck, or points from this matter. So I concentrated mostly on that, on the food. I mean, I have a food addiction. I still have a food addiction 2 years later. I just now have it under control, and I control what I put in my mouth, and food don't control me anymore. But that was a learned process, and it's just now that I'm feeling comfortable with bringing certain comfort foods or certain trigger foods into my home. So it doesn't happen overnight. I will never be healed of this food addiction. The fact that I love food, it's always going to be with me. The fact that we need to eat, we have to learn how to deal with our demons. And so anyways, for me, Weight Watchers was, it was how I had to go about this journey, because it gave me those tools to be able to figure out that I could still have the things that I love, just in a smaller portion. It wasn't until I had about 30 pounds or so gone before I introduced exercise. I started out by walking. I would walk about 10 minutes and I would be done. My legs would be burning. I would be out of breath. I hurt. I wanted to cry. So it was tough to know that your mind thinks you can do something and your body lets you down. All through high school, well, not through high school, but up until about grade 9, I was very into sports, like pretty well athletic. Volleyball, badminton. I was a figure skater. So to know that you couldn't go for a 10-minute walk was very disheartening to somebody who loved sports all their life. So that was a big eye-opener. So I would walk about 3 times a week maybe, and each time I would add on an extra minute or an extra light pole if I were outside walking. I didn't walk outside a whole lot because I was embarrassed. I would think that, people driving by would wonder why she's out having a walk. She's too big. It was, psychological. That was what was going through my head. So I had an elliptical in my basement, so I started to do that. I used to do that for about 6 minutes. That's all I could do. And like I said, like the walking, I gradually kept adding on until I was up to about 15 minutes, and I noticed my back. It would hurt my back, so I had to give that up as well. But I didn't give up. I decided to find something else that was low impact but still gave me a good sweat. And that's when I was introduced to Walk Away the Pounds DVDs. And I really highly recommend these DVDs for people who have bad joints or have bad backs or anything that may prevent them from doing things that are more strenuous. Great video. You can go at your own pace, do what you can do as much as you want, it's really good. And I did those till I lost about another 50 pounds, I guess. And when I got down to about 200 pounds, I started with the toning videos, like the Jillian Michaels 30-day shred. And I started to interval run on my treadmill. So that's when I introduced the running to my physical activity. So I'm just gonna sum things up here. You know, people say, like, what can I do? How can I get started doing, you know, get this weight loss rolling? And I always would think, you know, would say, start small. Add an extra glass of water to your day. Before you have breakfast, have a glass of water. Before you have lunch, have a glass of water. Before you have your supper, have a glass of water. That's 3 glasses of water right there. You just need at least 3 more. And you could do that. I mean, even if you can't, it was at least 3 that you got in. You know, start by maybe instead of white bread, go with whole wheat or whole grain. And instead of maybe a Fiber One bar, introduce fruit for your snacks, or some Greek yogurt, or some low-fat yogurt, or some cottage cheese, or nice apple with natural peanut butter. You know, those things will make a big difference as well when you start cutting out the chips and the pop, and even, you know, I don't mind diet pop. I don't drink it a lot myself. I might have it if I'm out at a restaurant, but sometimes I find it bloats me and it makes me crave sometimes sugars. That's me personally, and I know people who can go without their diet pop, and that's fine. Get yourself a food scale and start measuring out your food. You know, normally a serving of red beef, like 3 ounces. Chicken, I usually tend to eat about 4 to 6 ounces of chicken at my supper time meals. And even like measure out your rice, half a cup to a cup of rice. I don't tend to measure my vegetables or my fruit because I just feel that's my filler, or that's how I, you know, get my satisfaction. I will fill my plate with fruits and vegetables. Also, it's important to treat yourself to something that you really enjoy. So if you're wanting, I'll just say a chocolate bar, you know, pick a day, pick a time, make it an event. So if you want a Mars bar, say, okay, well, Friday night I'm going to have a movie with my family, so this is the night that I'm going to sit down and enjoy my Mars bar. Make sure you plan it. Make sure you stick to your plan and just have one. Savor the bar, make it last, do what you have to do, because your weight loss success won't come if you have a splurge every single day, or even 4 days out of the week. It's a bit much. So like, I usually have my splurge meal on Thursdays, and I usually make it myself at home, and that's me. That's when I have my sweet potatoes with my sour cream and my bacon bits and green onion. I feel like I'm having the best meal in the world with a grilled steak. No restaurant can beat that, but that's just me and how I have changed the way that I think. It doesn't have to be a restaurant quality food for me anymore. So make a plan, write your goals down, track your food, keep a food diary. There's different websites you could use, like MyFitnessPal, Sparks People, or you could join Weight Watchers, use their e-tools. Get a nice little journal from the Dollarama or Dollar Store and just write down your day, write down your exercise, how much you did. And sometimes when I have a schedule for, okay, if I say Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, I'm going to run these days, I'll write it in, and then when I cross it off, it's kind of like, okay, accomplishment. I did something. I did it. It's right there in front of me. And it makes me feel like I've done something good for myself. So, third just all little tricks that I like to use and that keep me motivated and, you know, have helped me on my journey. So this week I plan to continue with lots of exercise and getting my points in and not being afraid to use them and not let myself get into a diet mind frame. So yeah, that's it for me for this week. I will see you guys next Thursday. See ya.